need to find where your local community is hanging out, not being promotional, just being a member of that community. So this is a really good way to get leads.
Using those two strategies in collaboration. Okay, Nick, there's been interesting things this week. Notably, we've been seeing some themes in terms of maybe an underutilized strategy when it comes to local business. Do you want to talk about what we've heard, what we're seeing?
Yeah, so this is the sort of the be everywhere strategy. And I think everyone knows about this, but I think it's underutilized, especially in like the local services, professional services, that kind of industry. So we talked to Andy last week on the podcast.
Andy Walker, yeah.
Andy Walker. Yep. I forgot his last name. So glad you did that. And so he was talking about how important this can be for local home service companies. I think usually the founder would be that person who wants to be, the face of it. But the talk, what we were talking to about was around Facebook groups and how like you need to find where your local community is hanging out. It's not necessarily your ideal prospects. It's just your actual local community, where they're hanging out, and be active in that, and not being promotional, just being a member of that community, being a part of whatever conversations are going on in there. Because there's always stuff going on in your local community. Being active in that lets people get to know you. And then as they get to know you, they understand what you do. There's ways you can work that in without being promotional at all. If you're talking about what's going on in your community, there's going to be some sort of perspective you can bring from your business. And then letting people know that, hey, we're this local community business. Here's what we do. Then when, as Andy mentioned, when someone else asks for a recommendation, the people in that community always tag that person that they know of. So this is a really good way to get leads for local home service companies. I think this works for professional services as well. Now, this I think should be paired with the larger be everywhere strategy, because a lot of those people, if it's a small job, it's not a high ticket, service, they might just try you out. But anything more expensive or where you're going to be in their home, people are probably going to do a little bit more research. They're going to go to Google. So if they type that in, maybe they type in just the service, they want to see who else is out there. If they see your name, they see your business ranking, either in the map packs or organic rankings, that's another sign for them. Like, okay, this is a legitimate established company. They're active in my community. I think that checks all the boxes. That's who they're going to go with. So that be everywhere strategy, I think, is a bit underutilized. Obviously, everyone's trying to rank in the map packs. They want to rank in local, but there's a whole nother side of it of just being in those communities, being active, getting to know people. And then if maybe they don't think about it from the Facebook group, but maybe they're looking for that service. They see, the top couple names in the map pack, they see the organic rankings, and they recognize you from that community. That's who they're going to go with. And I think that's a powerful strategy. Now, why I like this so much, obviously, is because digital PR plays so well into this. So being everywhere, well, digital PR is a great way to be everywhere. So that could be obviously your local news publications, getting it featured in that. That's going to drive a lot of awareness. That's stuff you can also share with the community, with your audience, or getting featured in the larger publications, right? That's I think just helps as if people are searching for you, they're going to do a little bit more research. They're looking for some sort of contractor. They see you were, when they search your name, realtor.com shows up, Homes and Gardens shows up. These big publications, that's instant trust. And I think that's a really good strategy.
That is probably a completely underutilized way of using those two strategies in collaboration. So we hear about like you need to be seen 7 times before someone buys for you. I actually hadn't even thought about that, with using your digital PR as a way of like talking directly to your community. Hey guys, I'm a local plumber. I'm in this Facebook group. I've just been featured in the Express. It's a really cool article. You should check it out. Like, that is instant credibility and trust to all those people in that Facebook group. And then, yeah, like you said, you should be in those places anyway. And using the other places that you've been featured and then promoting that in these social groups is a genius way just to get those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. And then people are naturally going to use you and then also recommend you to other people as well. So it's genius.
Yeah. And how many people have we had on the podcast lately where we've tried to ask about, where most of the leads come from? And they talk about how hard they are to track because it's multi-touch point. They've seen you on an ad. They've seen you here. It's seeing you multiple times, then they become a customer. So that is a big part of it. So I think a lot of people, when they think about like, I'm going to, create a marketing plan, they're thinking about the map pack. They're thinking about organic rankings. They're not thinking about how this all plays together. And if you are, let's say you're a window company. So when we redid our windows, I think it was like $10,000. It's expensive. You do some research, right? So if you start to Google, you Google the business, but maybe you're Googling the founder. If it's something like plumbing, a service like that, you're going to look at the reviews. But yeah, if you see that they've been featured in big publications, it's instant trust, I think.
Yeah. And these Facebook groups as well, they are a place where people actively talking about these things all the time. And you can't do this half-assed. You can't just like join the group and not do anything. You've got to get in there and do it. When I had my fish and chip shop business in a small town, I joined that small town Facebook group, and this place was like a hive of activity. People are talking in there all the time. You got to dive in there and just give a bit of value. Don't be over promotional, but just give a bit of value, and it will work. And then obviously nail your local SEO as well, and it will all tie together perfectly.
And it should be pretty easy, I think. It's your local community. It's things that are going on there. So they do affect you in one way or another, right? So it's not too much of an ask, I think. If you maybe have someone on your team do it even. Just be a part of that community. You know what's going on there as well. You have a perspective as a member of that community. So it should be easy to engage in those Facebook groups.
Yeah. And you should also come across like cute cats that are up for adoption and other sort of community-based activities.
Always post pictures of cats and dogs, right? Of kittens and puppies.
100%.
Also instant trust. All right.